What's up, soldiers? This is WildBlueYonder. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about supplements and drug testing in the United States Air Force. Now, the most frequent question I get about drug testing is, if I did drugs before, will it affect my chances of joining? And what if they find out that I did drugs before? The biggest tip I can give to you all is to tell your recruiter before you join. Like, just tell them, hey, I did drugs like a while ago, or I did weed, or whatever that is, and just see what your recruiter says about it. Now, if you tell your recruiter, hey, I did this and that before, they're not going to arrest you. They're not police officers. They don't have the authority to. You don't want them to find out once you're at BMT and you fail a piss test, and now you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to be charged with erroneous or fraudulent enlistment. Then you're going to have way bigger issues to deal with. So you really want to tell your recruiter before you ship out, or like just let them know. They're not going to make a big deal out of it. If it's been like years since you've done anything, if you passed recent drug tests, then I probably wouldn't even tell them about it. So drug tests in the Air Force, how do they work? Well, your first drug test is going to be at MEPS. You're going to take your first drug test at MEPS, and if you fail that, then that's pretty much it for you. You're not going to really join the Air Force. Your second one's going to be once you get to BMT, and then your third and your fourth and your fifth and your sixth and your seventh and all that afterwards is going to be at active duty. Once you're active duty, you're going to have random piss tests every year. Last year, I think I had about 4 or 5. The year before that, I probably had about 3. Here's how it works. You'll be called up in the morning, and it doesn't matter if you're on night shift. It doesn't matter if you had to fall asleep at 2 o'clock that night and you're just now getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to report to this piss test. They don't care. It's always going to be in the morning. You're going to get a phone call. It's going to be from your commander's assistant or your first sergeant or something like that. And they're going to say, hey, Airman so-and-so, make sure you report down to our office. You have to report. They don't actually tell you that it's a piss test, but you know it's a piss test because you're getting a call from your commander's assistant at 6 o'clock in the morning. So once you get your paperwork, you report down to the piss test facility. That's my technical term for it, and then you're going to do your business. If you're a male, you're going to have a male observer. If you're a female, you're going to have a female observer. If you have a shy bladder, that's okay. You can drink water until you're ready to go, but you have to do it. It's mandatory. So if you got to stay there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, then you'll just have to stay there for that long. If you fail, then you'll probably get like an Article 15. You'll probably get kicked out. Drug testing is probably one of the easiest ways to get kicked out of the military. Besides failing your PT test, it's probably drug testing that gets people kicked out the most. My second most frequently asked question about drugs is, what can I take and what can't I take? Now, I take vitamin D pills because I live in Alaska and it's daylight like 3 hours a day. And then I also take my protein whey. So whey is totally fine, pre-workout is fine, most workout supplements are okay. Most of the things that you can find at GNC and things like that, they're okay. Any vitamins, aspirin, over-the-counter medicine, things like that, that's also totally fine. Now, the gray area is prescription drugs. So if you have prescription drugs given to you by the military or by any doctor, then it's totally fine to take those until you reach your expiration date. So they'll say, hey, Airman Simmons, you got your wisdom teeth taken out, so here's some Oxycontin, but you can't use it after this date. So say my prescription ended on the 15th and I get drug tested on the 13th and I pop positive for Oxycontin. It's fine because they'll see, okay, well, you had a prescription for that, so that's totally fine. But if my prescription ended on the 15th and I take a drug test on the 25th and I pop positive for Oxycontin, they're going to say, whoa, why are you still using this? You're going to be charged for, abusing drugs. Illegal drugs are just any drugs, like you know what drugs are. This also includes steroids, and there's like a list that the Air Force has of drugs that you can't take, but they're usually like off, like branded, like weird stuff. If you're just taking vitamins and whey protein and things like that, you'll be totally fine. Every base has a GNC at the BX, so if you go into the GNC, pretty much anything in there you can buy and you can use. Alcohol. Now, the Air Force actually considers alcohol kind of a big deal, and they kind of consider it as a drug. Well, it is kind of a drug. And so this is probably another really easy way to get kicked out of the Air Force, is if you get a DUI or underage drinking. Even just possessing alcohol underage, you can probably get kicked out of the Air Force pretty easily. Now, I know plenty of people drink underage, especially before joining the military, but you got to cut that out once you join. They don't have any tests for alcohol use. It's just, if you get pulled over and you get a DUI or something like that, or you get caught underage drinking, then you'll probably get kicked out pretty easily. Now, here's another big topic. A lot of people ask me this question. So, weed is legal here in Alaska. Weed is legal in Colorado and several different states. So, does that mean that if I go there or if I'm stationed there, can I smoke weed? That's a really good question, and the answer is no, you can't. If you're in the Air Force, you can't smoke anywhere, regardless of the local laws, regardless of the state laws, regardless if you are with your family or not, regardless if you're on leave, it doesn't matter. But, if you smoke weed before, you could probably join the Air Force. You could probably get away with it. I'm just speaking honestly about it. Like, lots of people I know, or lots of people I've met, if you ask them, you start talking about it, they're like, yeah, I know people, or I've smoked weed before. But hey guys, that's pretty much all I have to say about drugs. So if you guys have any questions, you can leave them down in the comment box below. I will answer them for you. I'll see you guys on, what's today? Saturday. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.